Last year I spent the entire year in the maybe high eighties, maybe low eighties, but I was in the eighties. But out 3 times this year, flirting with 100 every time I touch a club. I can't get out of it all. Everything. Everything. Hello.
Thanks.
Can't get
Or
caught.
so,
Yeah, golf's a skill that can be lost.
Yeah, well, that's it.
I never have.
Living up here in the, where we are, you get them couple months in a row, you're not playing, and you get back out and how did I hold the club? Was I doing this right? What was I doing wrong? I'll get back to somewhere. 2 or 3 years ago, I'll get back to where I was this year. What about yourself? Got out at all?
Played 9 holes 3 times. So
It stopped raining enough, maybe this weekend.
yeah, we play on Thursdays and miraculously 3 Thursdays in a row, threat to rain.
Nice.
Right.
Where do you play?
Parkview.
Oh, God, you're not gonna make my house in rain.
Thursday, it's the Bloomfield Men's League. It's pretty big. There's yeah. There's a couple of other Thursday.
Yeah, I think it might be like 19 holes.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're obnoxious.
That's
They are, they do that.
These cats. And then there was-
Somebody does something, you're the shape sort of.
other ways to be not
Yeah.
taking too long to play. It's all.
Yeah, some of these guys.
All
Like,
true.
how much have you got? Yeah.
I was playing, not this last week, before, with 2 guys, and they were up there in age, and they were in a cart. They were sharing a cart. But they didn't understand that they could drop somebody off, give them this club, you go to your ball, buy it,
Yes.
after you hit. They didn't understand that, so they would drive to the one ball. Both. Wait till. Guys, you're killing.
Well, last week, I was
In there, looking for
sitting in
shot.
the car, and the partner was looking for balls. There's another cart like out of the woods.
Hmm.
And the guy, I was backed up really fast.
Yep.
Right down the side of the car.
Oh, no, they just got 2 carts. They're not all new,
Well,
but,
and the guy works there.
oh.
They should look before you did.
Oh, it must have been Rich. Only guy I can think of that actually, he was playing and he did. Yeah.
Well, I know the ranger plays there.
Yeah, that's who I'm talking about. Rich, forget his last name. So do you play?
Well, we call it, I call it that, but it's terrible.
Are you in a league or?
I thought he was sitting down.
You know what I get? This weekend was the first weekend and it's raining. And
Went up to Rochester this weekend because one of our daughters graduated from the bar, the practitioner.
Nice.
So we went up there, spent the whole weekend up there. Another daughter from down in Charlotte came up. When I got home,
Yeah.
I just
We actually got one.
I just loaded a weekend ago.
You don't really. It's just.
Yeah.
Throwing 2 balls.
We just. We had with.
I know he's really.
Sometimes they have fun. Mowing the grass is fun.
No, I try to make it fun. You get on the riding line.
So we say, get on here.
Say, but
But I got that.
First time somebody's-
Walking out.
You know, attorneys. Rather than.
Oh, really?
Okay. I think this file's getting lower.
Amanda, I don't wanna be the one to tell you, but Mike is signing faster than you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, hers will probably be legible.
Yeah.
Well, when you.
Always on down. Yeah. Coming down. Yes, you too. Do.
Like it's interesting. Like a float, huh? A float? Yeah. It's nice. Yeah, by the way out there. Great folks. Yeah.
Dave, but I think ballpark.
Well, it's like, so staying busy. Not everybody.
That's playing ball.
Overall, one, working on it, it's expensive, so obviously. Either doesn't matter, yeah, right along the virgin.
I finally got a chance to kill it.
Sick of all.
Managed to get the lawn back down. Yeah, so that'll, that's the, I haven't had enough rain.
Oh, I did, yeah, right.
Nope.
So
They took away the.
Actually, appreciate
So.
Dab
That's.
Then
So,
Mark.
still the answer. I'm going to get your phone. Hopefully, for it.
That's Mark.
Trying to, I'm a little bit. I think.
Good.
Overall.
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah.
Here now.
Mr. Input.
It would have.
Well, I saved it all up. You're gonna get it all.
Maybe you enjoyed it.
From.
Wow. It's time to work.
I've been. Yeah, that's exactly, that's right.
Yeah.
Good.
Always been tough.
Mark.
Bob. And Barry. Father, not
Mother, what?
And she was.
Busy. Oh.
So anyways, I guess I'll go ahead and get started then, we're ready sometime soon, so I'll go ahead and call Ontario County Industrial Development Agency to order and jump right into new business and ask Barry, ask I just said Barry from you, ask Ed to leave.
Right.
For half a second or two. Oh. Yeah,
You can listen to us talk about it if you want. As y'all know, we went out for RFP for local council after after you did. After on Thunderbird, it was a good time to do it. We had 4 responses. Obviously, they scored the highest. Was myself, Sue, Michael, and Bob that scored. Basically, keeping Ed would be our recommendation because then business continues to as it was before. Sat with him earlier today, just get some clarification. Pricing, a couple other things, but basically it remains the same, but we have more resources with his home, and he promises that he will not be leaving anytime soon, so we do not have to do this again. So staff recommendation would be to accept the proposal from
Hudson Russ.
Hudson.
Comfortable with that.
celebrate with the.
Hourly rate comparable with the other three.
Yeah, so what they do is they set it up as a retainer, which matches what we're doing right now with Underberg. So the price wise doesn't change. If we have to get into stuff with the airport, then their hourly rate was actually a little bit better than, right, comparable to the other two.
They were all very hard to, but very low.
Yeah, I can't say the second half of that number either.
So,
Yeah.
so you know what I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
they were all right there on an hourly, per part.
Uh-huh.
So, and then obviously, so it's very comparable. All,
Okay.
They
and
all use way more words than necessary. The prices were basically the same. But
And
continuity of service is at one.
I'd have council saying, make this motion before he comes back, and what he said.
Yeah, I think we can probably make the motion while we stand out or we can have, well, I say,
They had nothing to discuss.
No, I know that. But if they do, well, no.
Yeah.
This is true.
Any motion? Yeah. Motion for Dave, seconded by Amanda. All those in favor of entering into contract with Russell's? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing done. Go invite that back in. Okay.
correct, you take smart. So they- I forgot anything.
Hey, guys. No luck with Barry, I couldn't find it. No, I couldn't find Barry.
We'll just go right into unfinished business and, site databases. Ryan, inform us.
Okay, so next month, actually, Jim will come in, but I'm going to go ahead and ask for this is the Jim Armstrong travel the highways and byways, so we can update our website, get a big website site listings. EDC has already done their part. This guy half of 6,000, so $3,000 bill to the IDA. He's already out there starting to update the site. He'll come and do a little update for everybody next month, so you guys can ask him a few questions on the public out there. They sell visiting businesses. He likes to do that, but we wanted to get this going. But just make a motion for the like digits.
I have a motion from Deb, seconded by Andy, second. All right. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Gary, tell us about your new tab.
You guys want to? So, governance committee meeting met again, this afternoon over lunch. Pizza was all right. We should have a document for you all to review next month. Staff made some recommendations, had put together a document for us to consider. We went back and forth a little bit and then presented the first draft to the governance committee this afternoon. Couple language cleanup items and just tinkering with some of it. And then we will have something for you all to consider next month. And along those, when you look at the document next month, we will also recommend that we go out public hearings so we can get that rolling. The idea in mind is put it in front of the public, put it in front of the IDA, full IDA. And then we should get wrap this up sometime before summer. So we will have our update prior to. We'll share it electronically for the next meeting, so you get a chance to take a look at it when it's final.
Okay. All right, well, then there's not any administrative stuff, what are the minutes? That's towards the record. Have a motion, Bart. Second by Amanda, any discussion on the minutes? All those in favor of their acceptance? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Invoices for payment, Mike and Bob.
I just want to say, remember that we didn't meet last week, so when you look at this, don't guess. 2 months together. Bob,
Yeah, it's, mostly, typical utilities, some parts from, parts and supplies from gas. Environmental, Clearlake's Environmental, that's, septic pumping for the one tank from one of our tenants. And, let's see, Samco is, 329, that's a weed killer. Yep.
Okay, down to the IDA, the home account, we've got the 40,000 is just to cover what's going on at the airport for this month. Professional services, that would be our first Hudson West invoice, our monthly 1,500. The Loki Grill, if you recall, these are all paid by the clients. We've got a certain account set up for them. This is a labor monitoring. We have 3 of those. Mango Metzger bars for the audit for Mouse MRB Group is for a couple projects that they worked on for us earlier this year. Global Common Ventures is what it was. And just our 2 counties, and Philadelphia Insurance is our DNO, Directors and Officers insurance for the year. Sioux Berry's got a small mileage reimbursement, and the Upberg and Kessler is being pulled. But so we're not going to pay that.
I did have one question. One of my first meetings, somebody asked about the propane usage and using Superior. If we looked around at others, we ever do that?
We were getting state bid pricing, so the paperwork's in for that.
As long as we're in state bid prices.
Yeah, and then our, I think our suppliers changing for diesel, used to be all the superior. We all see company, correct?
But it's all state bid.
Yeah.
Okay. That's-
Second. Motion, Dave second. Any questions or gas according to Mike? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Airport update, we all got a report from Bob. If there's any questions for Bob, that'd be, that'll be the time, if not, I'll put a motion on it. Report. Motion on his report from Dave. Second by Amanda. Any questions? Not, all those in favor of acceptance of the report? Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. And then we got an AWAS bid review and we're going for a short executive session before we do that. Yep. Yeah, I had it written down right there. So if somebody, what are we going to executive session about? So I guess I make a motion. Oh, great. Potential legal issue. All right, so. I can have a motion.
Motion to go into executive session to discuss it. Potential
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Just board and staff left in here.
Just board stuff.
Just board and staff, was that, everybody, part of board and staff? So.
Okay. Should we go? Step up. Yep. So, yeah, this is.
Right.
Put the door closed.
It was that.
Yeah, very close.
That's that.
The update that we wanted to give everybody, was on the roadway project. So as you know, we had a bid awarded a year ago, right, 1 year ago.
Yep.
And there has been no movement on that project since then. Talked about it a couple different times throughout the last year. Ed wrote a letter about,
Yep.
demanding something happened and asking for them to respond by Friday last week. There was no response. So Ed.
Yeah. So when they submitted the bid, they had to put in basically a bid bond. So basically, at the end of the day, the idea behind the bid bond is if the party who wins, is awarded the bid, doesn't comply, you have to go back out and bid again, and you've lost time, energy. So it's supposed to make the idea whole. So the question comes up: do we go after the bond? Do we claim to say they awarded the bid, they didn't comply, and we take the funds? So that's really the question before the board right now, because if we can at least make the attempt. We'll do it one more time, but at this point, based on our reading of the contract, they did comply, so. I think, Bob, people's background on why what their claims were not. related to.
Honestly, I don't, know. It was pretty easy process. It's just EVO compliance
Yep.
with, putting forth a good faith effort. To find qualified contractors or subs for the WBE veteran requirements. McFarland Johnson, hand over fist, with just hand them ideas and tell them things that DOT offered help and assistance, step-by-step instructions, and they just simply didn't comply. And this is really a best guess
Mhm.
effort. I mean, we still would rather they just, comply and do the job,
Right.
because, even if we collect this bond, it's not gonna really do much for us. It's for 5% of the job, which is about $45,000.
Mhm.
Yeah, so, and we'll have to go out and rebid, and won't get as much of a project because prices have gone up, and, well, the next. We can go to the second bidder, but they're not gonna go with bids from a year. Years. So maybe this is, letter certainly wake them up, that
Mhm.
look like they're gonna be out of pocket, but.
Yeah, I think that the letter that I'm thinking we've written would be, is that we're going to contact the insurance company about the bond, and so the bond, unless you respond in 10 days, something like that.
Didn't we already give them a lot of time? I mean, it's been a year.
Yep.
You sent them a letter asking for a response by last Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Do we really want them doing work on our airport?
They're a capable contractor. I think that's just their.
I would question that. If they're capable, they would call us back. They would respond to us, especially a legal letter.
Well, they know how to run excavators, and they do work. So I don't know, I think this is just their first state bid over their heads, they didn't mind you to do it, wanted to back out. Yeah, I mean, at this point, wouldn't need my choice of
They
contractor.
thought we would just forget.
Did they do anything?
Nothing, I believe they made they put together, of course, they put together a bid, and they went out and made some.
That,
Woodstone Earth.
And McFarland tried to work with, try to get them over the FAA requirement part of it. But I think what happened was, after a while, their bid was no longer any good. It took them too long to get to meet that requirement. Their bid was no longer any good, and they knew it. I don't think they ever plan on coming out there and putting any pavement because of the cost.
Cost them less money to pay the bid, but they're actually.
Yeah, at this point.
At this point.
They're,
So your question was, do we want to?
Do you-
My question would be, why would you not?
There's no reason at this point, other
No
than sending the
downside.
letter, no. Downside is they come back with an attorney letter saying, X, Y, and Z, these are the reasons we applied. Where, they make a bunch of defense, whether they want to pursue, $30,000-$40,000 for that.
And how much is the bid bond?
45. Now, you said.
about 45,000.
That's cool.
So there was other bids, were they close or were they a lot less or what?
I think the next closest bid was, well, depends on if you counted the adults in there, but the next closest bid was City Hill. They were within 50,000, I believe.
Higher?
Yeah.
But they won't do it.
No, but if they're that close, then make a bid bond, because they're gonna be, what's the total cost of this? It's, can't do that. Converted.
100,000.
900,000. So, if it's 10% higher, this will cover half that. Because it
We need
probably
to
will
do,
be,
so we're gonna have to go back out and get bids, probably too, so.
it's gonna be higher, like you said, sure will help. Else is.
Yeah, it would be great if the second letter, they said, you know what, we'll do it. But I'm sure that's not gonna happen.
Okay.
So we put in form of motion, just go after the bid bond or write a letter.
Formally, I mean, that's just, matter of course, I think if we were to go with like a litigation matter, you wanted us to pursue it, but at this point, we're just gonna make another ask and say, got X amount of days. 10 days.
Yeah.
A judge will want to see that you made a couple of attempts before you pull the trigger.
Try to work it out with it.
Despite them not being
Have to make that. That-
What's that? Sorry.
Have to make another app, tell them to go after.
Yeah, the judge would want to see that you've made
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, so since the date's gone past, they'll want one more letter. I think you'll.
Sure.
Just say, time's up, you didn't respond, we're going after the bid bond, but you got 10 days to come back. To sign the contract. Essentially. Yeah, if they sign the contract, though. Then you. That's it.
And what's the language in the contract we have with them for when they start the completion? I don't want to be talking about it a year from now because they signed the contract.
Well, because the dates have all lapsed. They could sign the contract with the proviso that we'll have to provide all this.
5 days, but I don't want to give them much time. They do.
Oh,
have to
yeah.
Respond.
Yep. So no motion.
So I guess we're good then.
Yep.
We'll just call it, we Megan, yeah, we need one motion. Come out of executive. Go out of executive. That's okay. Motion and a second by Mark. All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried out of executive session. Now Brett can come in and tell us about the AWAS.
Oh, nice day out there today. It's probably not a great idea to send them out. They may not back. That's pretty nice.
Yep, I'm the AWAS. Brett, I'm sorry, I didn't have you, I don't, or have you introduce yourself.
All right, let me start, Mike, just before the board, since we last met, we solicited for bids and received it for the AWAS construction project. We received one bid from a qualified bidder. Baseline King, their contractor from the Utica home area. They're very qualified and specialized in installation of airport equipment like this. And Brett Long is here from McFarland Johnson. He's the project manager on this, done the design work for this project. And he's here just kind of here to explain. He's provided a letter, I believe, it's in the packet of recommendation to award the bid. And we can discuss more about the details of the bid and funding schedule.
Good afternoon, Brett Long from McFarland Johnson Engineers, and I'll just follow up with what Bob said. Baseline King was the bid, lowest bid, the only bid on the project, well qualified. They actually have won another project, in that area, and we did review their unit prices for the items that were listed in the bid. And by line, I interviewed them, and they were all well within what we anticipated. Some of the bids came in, unit costs were higher than what we anticipated, but after doing further research and talking to some of the suppliers, those prices have increased since last equipment. So we certainly recommend awarding the contract to Baseline. So the letter that's pulled up there is usually what we present to the FAA, so their final grant. That's
Randy. Seconded by Mark. Seconded by Mark. Any discussion on the AWAS bid?
Well, why do you think there was only one bid?
So, it's a very specialized type of construction, and Baseline King, was the only bid on the Oneonta project that just went out for bid, so they really have a wealth of knowledge, and I don't know if that scares off other contractors, but they're the only contractor I'm aware of who's ever done AWASs, not just Canandaigua, and Oneonta, but Gary Warsaw too there, so they're very well qualified and very good at what they do. But we did solicit and ask around all those who are on the bid holders list why they did it. And, a lot of them just said that they just weren't interested. Maybe that's because they knew basically things out there and they haven't been.
Pretty good niche when you scare your competition.
I'm thinking I would learn how to do this.
Yeah, he goes to do some YouTube tutorial. Get together and be.
How hard would it be? 4 letters, come on.
All right, any other questions? All those in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none,
Mr. Chairman.
carried. And then the financial statements, we all had sent.
But, one more, we need a separate vote on the seeker. This was, for this project. It's a unlisted action.
Yeah, so, part of this project, there's a disturbance of 0.0063 acres of wetland. That would be, access where the proposed access road would cross over, we have to create a culvert, but in that culvert area is wetland area, so part of our due diligence is we have to apply for wetland permit with the Army Corps of Engineers. Subsequently, we have to go through a seeker process to evaluate if there's any fire impacts, so it's the kind of request that the board reviews our seeker form, and there's no opposition to 0.0063 acres of wetland disturbance. That's requested negative declaration.
Basically, they're putting a 20-foot of 18-inch culvert over a ditch.
Yeah, that's a lot of paperwork.
Yeah, there was about 8 or 9 pages here, but
Do you have that's a long form EAF or was it?
It was a short form. Yeah,
Okay.
a short form.
Yeah. It's. And so, and did McFarland, did you guys complete this?
Yes, we completed that, yes.
You just sent me a copy.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So what do we just?
Yep, yeah, you can.
Short form negative declaration. Alright, motion from Dave. Seconded by Amanda. Any discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Then we'll go on to financial statements. Mike sent them out already. If anybody has any questions of Mike, he said he had made himself available at the end of the table. If not, I'll take a motion.
Have a beer and discuss it.
But there is some was.
Yeah, thanks to one project. Supposed to close last year and didn't, so we're rolling forward to this year, so we'll probably have a pretty good year this year. But that one project was the 395 that's on the receivable, you take 30 off of that, because that's for the labor monitor, so it's 365. Yeah, thought that was-
All right, that question, Dave, for your motion, you made the motion, Dave made the motion, I need a second. Second. Seconded by Mark. Any other questions? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, carried. Department update, what are you informing us of?
Just one quick thing, that the board supervisors, like last Thursdays ago. Created the Ontario County Ad Hoc Housing Committee, whatever. And like we've said right along, the IDA will have representation. And Mark has agreed to be that representation. We will start meeting in June, so there will be more updates to come, I'm sure, but it's been a long time. We've been working on getting this committee together. Good group of people all dealing with the housing arena. So hopefully they're putting together some sort of a strategy to help across the entire company. Other than that, UTEP will reflect that.
Right.
Happy to have
That's
it.
it. Returns, so you don't have any questions on that. Motion going down, motion for me. Second by Amanda, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, there you go, away we go.
Yeah.
Well done.
It's all right. Oh, everybody else is having. Congratulations.
Just gotta look at your 3 here, people. The other one was more impressive, there's a lot of stuff.
pretty exciting time.
What's that? What's all right?
Thanks, Ian, I thought, well,